pornography charges. Holmberg resigned as head of a powerful committee that oversees the legislature's business between sessions. Additionally, allegations surfaced online from 2 years ago by a man who accused Holmberg of sexually assaulting him 10 years earlier. Fargo criminal defense attorney Mark Fries is representing Holmberg. Fries says Holmberg has not been charged with any crime, and he says there's no indication that he will be. Holmberg, a retired school counselor, announced in March that he was retiring from the legislature. Partly to mostly cloudy, Fargo-Moorhead this afternoon. We should approach about 48 for a high. Clouds tonight. Wind picks up out of the east with a chance of light rain. 55, mostly cloudy, windy tomorrow. Areas of showers, perhaps some thunder showers. And Saturday, windy, showers likely, possible thunderstorms. 68 in the afternoon with steady or slowly falling temperatures. Windy Sunday, 41, scattered rain or snow showers. It's 40 now. Paul Juergens, News Radio KFGO.
You know, it's not that I'm looking forward to the fact that tomorrow's Friday, but we're getting ready for Friday, and quite frankly, the weekend that is upon us. So the voting's open. We started this a couple weeks ago in which, all right, you put head-to-head a couple of genres of music. What do you want to hear tomorrow? You can start voting at 35270, or you can go to Twitter and follow me there and do it. We established it earlier this week by just circumstance. You've got either super groups. You're thinking about the Traveling Wilburys. You're thinking about the Highwaymen. I mean, the list goes on. So there's super groups or those solo projects. You're thinking about Kiss going to do their own, Ace Frehley with, New York Groove, those sort of songs. So, or Ozzy Osbourne post, his whole Black Sabbath, all that. So you send in which one you want to hear tomorrow. We'll keep track, and then we'll let you pick what songs from those you want to hear. 35270 is our iConsultants of North Dakota Text Club. You can also call us all day today on the Laney studio line, which is 237-5948. The bottom of the hour here is when Spencer Worth, the Meat, is going to be joining us. I do enjoy already having questions ready for him. We just had to bump him back by about half hour today. But he is going to be taking all your questions. So we're going to start off right now. And I want to start by doing some thank yous because it's been a fun thing. We've enjoyed it. I hope that those of you, the hundreds of you that have registered for the meat raffle, have enjoyed it as well. Barnesville Grocery for sponsoring and providing the meat from us to you through this meat raffle over the last several weeks. This is the final go-around here. I've got 10 finalists here, 3 of you going to be winning those final 3 packages from Barnesville. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank Bordertown and Bar 9 for allowing you to go over there, have a cold one, have some food, and get registered in person. All of those have been collected and entered into this raffle throughout this entire time as well. And then tonight, I want to thank Bar 9 in particular for allowing us to go on over there and give away this Traeger that is sitting in the KFGO studio. It's fully constructed. We did this one time last year during the fall. Had a great time, hundreds of people showing up. We enjoyed that. It was during a Vikings game, which made it even more enjoyable for a lot of us, so you can sit and watch football. But tonight, we're going to be over there again. Another Traeger. Same situation as last time. We're going to be over there starting at 6 o'clock is when you can go register those final registrants that can be done in person. We're going to be narrowing that down. You'll understand once you get there, but you can't win if you don't play. You can't play if you're not over at Bar 9 starting at 6. 7:30 is when we're doing our drawings. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You're all invited to come on out. Again, Bar 9, that's in West Fargo, right on 13th Avenue. You can't miss it there. So with all of that, I want to thank all those people and all of you as listeners of KFGO for going and getting registered for your chance to win this the meat and, quite frankly, this Traeger that we're giving away. With all of that, no more time to waste. Here are this week's finalists of the final meat raffle. going out over these airwaves of KFGO. So listen up. We don't have your tickets, but we got your names and your location. So turn that volume up to 11. First finalist for this last week, Greg Nelson out of West Fargo. Greg, you are a finalist for the meat raffle. Residing in Fargo, Ronnie Lammers. Ronnie, you are a finalist for the meat raffle as well. Glendon, Minnesota. That's home to John Berg, who is also a finalist today. Now, I apologize to this other John. If I butcher your last name, I do apologize up front. John Savi from Moorhead, Minnesota. You're a finalist. Congratulations, John. Hillsboro, North Dakota. Mike Lazard calls that home, and you know what? He is a finalist today as well. A couple of Fargo residents coming up here. Jerry Schumacher, you are a finalist for the meat raffle going on here in just a few moments. Brad Fossey, Fargo, North Dakota. Congratulations, Brad. You are a finalist as well. West Fargo, we got Dan Meyer making the final cut here as well. From Fargo, we got Gerald Weiser, a finalist of this week's meat raffle. And one more for you. David Spooner, Castleton, North Dakota. Congratulations, David. You are a finalist for the last meat raffle. That's going to be taking place right after this quick commercial break. We'll get Eric, get the wheel going, and we'll tell you who the three winners are of the $50 gift cards out to Barnesville Grocery on the meats. So you're thinking ribs, you're thinking bacon, you're thinking the pork roll. It's all out there. They've got a great selection, and they've got weekly specials out there. So stay tuned. We're going to do that final meat raffle right after this here on KFGO. I'm Tyler Axis. You got a Locked In Afternoons Live. Don't go anywhere. All right, wait's over. Final three for the May Raffle this time. I have no doubt that this is something that's going to probably be happening again. But we've named the 10 finalists for today. And now we're going to do the 3 winners of this meat raffle. In fact, Eric Jensen's got the wheel back there. Give her a spin for me, my man. I just can't get over how stupid that thing is. The first winner today, Dan Meyer, West Fargo. Congratulations, Dan. You win meat from Barnesville Grocery. Dan Meyer, West Fargo, you're the first winner today. Give her another go, Eric. Where did we rip this off from? Can I finally figure out after all these weeks, what is that original wheel sound from?
From a wheel sound effect?
No, but like, was it from a game show or nope?
Nope, just a straight up wheel sound effect.
I can't wait to get done with it.
Only one more.
One more. From Moorhead, John Savi. John, I'm going to apologize again because I've had to repeat your name like 4 times. And if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But John Savi, Moorhead, Minnesota. Congratulations. You won meat from Barnesville Grocery. Final time. Soak it in, boys and girls. Never again. Never again. David Spooner, Castleton, North Dakota. David, you win meat provided by Barnesville Grocery. So get on out there. You're already thinking about what you're going to be purchasing out there, and you know what? It's on us. So I want to thank everyone else, finalists. You know what? Get on over to Bar 9. Just because you didn't win any meat, perhaps, so of the, do I just throw out there, the 800-plus people that had registered, there's more than that, I think. You can still go out and have a good time at Bar 9. That's where we're going to be hanging out. Right after the show, I'm packing up this Traeger that's been constructed. We're getting on over there. It takes 2 afternoons live, plus the whole crew of KFGO is going to be on out there. It'll be a fun time. But again, I want to thank Barnesville. I want to thank Barnesville Grocery, that is, and Bar 9 for sponsoring this little thing for us over the last few months. 237-5948. That is the Laney studio line. You can also text the Yacht Consultants of North Dakota Text Club. That's at 35270. Spencer Ward is going to be joining us. Typically, we're taking your questions right now, which I do appreciate those that have sent those in. He had something come up, so in about 15, 20 minutes time, we will be asking those. So if you have anything, cuts, rubs, what to ask the butcher, that's all coming up in a little bit. One of the things that I'm going to be asking him, because it got brought up earlier today, is the process of a spatchcock when it comes to chicken, duck, turkey, all those, if you're putting it on a grill. If you missed news and views today, it got out of hand when it was Jack Michaels, Joel Heidkamp, myself talking about this Traeger grill. But that process, I've never done it before. I've heard great things. So I'm going to ask him about that. But he takes your questions first and foremost. So you can start sending those in right now. There's one thing that's been eating at me for the last couple of days. If not the last couple of weeks, months, years. And I know that I've gone down this path before, but every election year, we keep coming back to the posturing of this very issue. And it has to do with that southern border. And it's got to do with illegal immigration. It's got to do with politicians that go and find every camera they can find or send any little tweet that they, think of and have vetted through their staff to get out there and make sure, hey, get this out there so I can raise some money. I got a re-election campaign coming up. I need the cash. I need to look like I'm actually doing something for a change. Now, earlier this week, one of those instances caught my attention, and it kind of gave me that eye roll again because it's one of North Dakota's U.S. Senators, and John Hoeven. He's visiting the southern border, which is well within his right. I have no fault to people going down and observing for themselves the situation that's happening there. In fact, I would encourage it, especially those that are in charge of this. Now, this is where it keeps been rubbing me the wrong way because a number of times you as listeners send in texts talking about how this disaster at the border. And you talk about, this administration. And before that, it was the Obama administration. And I said, well, at least Trump was building a wall. I want to keep reminding you that a lot of this, as far as passing what should be done, what can be done, what's outlawed, what authority could be provided to the administration, goes through Congress. It does. So when you have lawmakers, congressmen and women, senators going and just blasting out on Twitter or talking on to Fox News or whatever it is, saying, boy, this administration's fallen short. What are you doing about the situation down at the southern border? You've got the purse strings. You've got the ability to form these laws. You give the authority to the executive branch. And I keep going back to 2012, 2013, and that window. I believe it was 2013, in which you had a comprehensive immigration reform package. It was introduced. It was vetted. It was debated. It went through the whole committee process. And you know what happened? It passed the United States Senate. It did, on a bipartisan basis. So a lot of the things that you've been shouting at for a lot of these years, right or wrong, as far as what's being done and what's not being done, there was an attempt. There was, and it was Barack Obama who was president at the time. You had the U.S. Senate pass it, and then it didn't go anywhere in the U.S. House. I think it was John Boehner was speaker at that time, in which it was too close to an election. So they didn't do anything. They had just let it ride on out. And I believe, if you recall our timeline here, Kevin Cramer was in the U.S. House of Representatives at that time. He didn't do anything to take it up. Certainly talks about the border all the time, him and his pals out at Fisher Industry trying to build this wall during the last administration. But again, you've had ample opportunities, that one being the closest to actually get this comprehensive reform that every single year, especially in an election year, we talk about the need for it. So close, but it didn't happen because of partisan politics. So here we are in 2022. We've got a midterm election coming up. You've got a Democrat in the White House, and boy, everyone's wanting to fly on down to the border and then raise campaign cash off of the number of arrests that are being made, the number of people that aren't getting arrested and getting through. So again, when we think about, geez, where is this falling short? Sure, the administration, and I can certainly throw some shade over at Vice President Kamala Harris, who's been tasked with addressing this. I don't have a clue if Kamala Harris has been there. Has she done a whole lot for this administration? Certainly could be doing more as far as this is what needs to be done. Here's what I've seen. But do not neglect to mention that Congress has a large role in all of this. Don't give them a pass just because they're out there talking about it online. They've got votes. They've got the purse strings. They've got the ability to make the authority available to the White House to do things. But they're not, because it's good election year politics. And that's what keeps coming up over and over and over again. And until we start saying, look, you've got a responsibility in this also. It's not just to go out there and get your cheap brownie points online. It's to actually take a position and then take up a vote and do your work. And until we start holding that accountable for these senators or congressmen and women, we're just going to keep seeing this over and over every election year. So my plea to you, after all this, is to ask them what they are doing. When John Hoeven's out on the campaign trail, if he holds a town hall, I don't know the last time he's done that. The next time he is, ask him what he has done since that one vote in which he was right voting for it, but then has not done much besides the photo opportunities. 35270. That's the Eye Consultants of North Dakota Text Club. You can call me on the Laney studio line at 237-5948. Tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. I'm here for it. Or you can tell me, or at least acknowledge, that Congress has a role in this and they're neglecting to do their part as well. We'll have that conversation when we come back. Also, Spencer Worth, the meat dude. All these meat-related questions into the text club, I will ask him right after we get you caught up with KFGO News. Paul Jergens will give you the latest local headlines. We'll check back in with CBS. We'll talk meat here when we come back. I'm Tyler Axis. You are listening to Afternoons Live on 790 AM, 94.1 and 104.7 FM, KFGO.
News and weather this hour brought to you by Ottertail Power Company, positively impacting communities they serve for more than a century.
Cloudy, 40. I'm Paul Jurgens. A cool, wet spring doesn't always mean a similar summer weather pattern. Assistant Minnesota State climatologist Pete Boulay says 2013, 14, and 2018 all had spring cold spells and warm summers.
Like 2018, we had a very cold April and then followed by a very warm May. And in fact, we had 100 degrees, many locations, upper 90s, low 100s in central and southern Minnesota on Memorial Day. So it can be really warm after a cold spring.
High temperatures could reach the 70s in parts of Minnesota on Saturday. Boulay says spring rains have helped raise the levels of some lakes. The Clay County Sheriff's Office and Hawley Police are investigating the death of a person who was found in a submerged car in a slough in rural Hawley yesterday afternoon. Vehicle parts were discovered and divers from Valley Water Rescue were called. It's unclear when the car went into the water or if the weather was a factor. The name of the person has not been released. 5 people were found dead inside a Duluth home yesterday afternoon after police received a report of a person experiencing a mental health crisis. The death includes that person. Police are not seeking any suspects. Police Chief Mike Tuscan says police got an initial request to check on someone in nearby Hermantown, which led them to the Duluth home where they found the bodies. Tuscan called it an unimaginable tragedy. A dog was also found dead. It's believed that all of the dead are related. 40, this is KFGO News. "40 degrees. This is KFGO News. The director of the Sioux Falls VA healthcare system has been reassigned following a multitude of complaints about mismanagement. The VA's Midwest region director says Lisa Simoneau will stay with the Veterans Affairs Department and serve at regional headquarters in the Twin Cities. According to a letter from Senator Mike Rounds to the Veterans Affairs Secretary, whistleblowers who contacted him said the Sioux Falls Medical Center had a hostile work environment where employees were mistreated and veteran care was not a priority. Minnesota lottery officials are giving a $50,000 check to the Holiday Station store in Ramsey that sold a $110 million Mega Millions ticket. The April 12th drawing was the first ever Mega Millions jackpot won in Minnesota. The cash option is more than $67 million. The winner is yet to come forward. A new state law allows the winner to remain anonymous if they choose. They have a year to claim the prize. A Florida man is pleading guilty to threatening to kill Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Tampa says 67-year-old David Hannon of Sarasota admitted to threatening a public official in July 2019. Prosecutors say he sent Omar an email with the subject line that read, "You're dead, you radical Muslim." Hannon's email asked whether Omar was prepared to die for Islam and stated that he intended to shoot her in the head. Fargo-Moorhead, partly to mostly cloudy this afternoon. We look for a high of about 48. 38 overnight, mostly cloudy, maybe some rain. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. Wind picks up out of the east-southeast. Some showers, possible thunder showers. About 55 for the high. Saturday, 68. Windy, though, with showers and possible thunderstorms. Steadier, slowly falling afternoon temperatures on Saturday. 41 then the high on Sunday. Another windy day, scattered rain and or snow showers. 40. Paul Jurgens, News Radio, KFGO.
You got a question about meat, and I mean any type of question, doesn't matter whether it's techniques, all of it's on the table with Spencer Wirt. He's our go-to meat guy, and I want to thank, this sponsored segment by Out About Meats. We'll tell you more about that in the days ahead here, but sponsoring our conversation with Spencer Wirt now, Out About Meats, we'll tell you about the changes that they've had out there. I want to thank them for allowing us to continue our conversation with Spencer. All you have to do if you have a question, 35270. That's the iConsultants of North Dakota Text Club. You send them in right now, and we'll add it to the other ones that have already been sent in. And we'll ask him after we get you caught up with CBS National News. Our meat dude, Spencer Wirt, right after this. Spence?
Pretty good. How are you, Tyler?
Doing well. I appreciate your time as always. And you know what? Hey, we got a little bit of an announcement. I want to thank Audubon Meats for sponsoring this check-in with Spencer Wirt, the meat dude. My understanding is you know these fellas.
Yeah, I got to know them when I was out in Fargo, and it's a relatively new operation, and I know the guy who purchased it and started it, so it's exciting. It's cool. It's awesome to have them part of the show, I guess.
I wanted people to hear you say that just so they know it's legitimate. If they have the trust of Spencer Wirt, your meat dude that you trust with all your questions, Audubon Meats is the place where you can trust to go get your meats as well. I got messages waiting for you. I'm going to get into one conversation I had earlier today on News and Views, but that can wait because I want to get to the listeners first. You ready?
I am.
Let's
go.
Tyler, can you ask the meat dude, does Coke or Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, and meat marinade work to tenderize?
Well, That's an interesting question based on pop, because we talk a lot about pop and sauces and marinations. Because of their high sugar content, it adds so much flavor, especially in like a barbecue sauce. Now, I don't know everything that is in a Coke or in a Dr. Pepper, so I'm sure there is something in there that would, meat scientifically tenderize the meat. I don't know what that ingredient would be off the top of my head, but I've never truly marinated anything in Dr. Pepper or Coke. Most of the time, I use those in a spritz or a sauce or a mop while I'm barbecuing.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be interesting to utilize them in a marinade. Of course, you're putting a lot of sugar in there because there's a lot of sugar in pop, but there might be some other stuff in there that would be technically or tenderizing the product.
See, I've not done the tenderizing. I have had wings with a Dr. Pepper sauce on it. In fact, it was down in Frisco. Right? Cluckers is the name of this restaurant, and they have. If you go get wings there, I mean, it's like the whole side of a chicken. I mean, you just get so plenty. But they had a Dr. Pepper. I'm like, well, I'm here. We just won a championship game. Better go try this one out. It's actually surprisingly good. As far as just having that as a glaze of Dr. Pepper, I don't know what's in it that makes that the go-to, but I've seen that more than any other like soda pop variety as far as people using.
Yeah, and it's just the flavor profile. I think whatever Dr. Pepper claims, however many flavors are in their pop, but it balances well, and of course sugar makes everything taste good. So there you go.
I'm going to assume it's I think it's 23 flavors. I'm getting pop is usually very acidic, comes in as well. So if that has anything to do with your tenderizing a scientific mind, that might be part of it there, Spence. More questions coming in. I'm going to go at 35270. Tyler, can you ask me, dude, is Hamburger Made from trimmings of the entire cow or just from certain cuts?
It depends on where you're buying your burger from. It could be a combination of a lot of different things. If you can find a label that says it comes from only certain cuts, you'll find ground chuck or ground sirloin or something like that, then those would be, in fact, only from sirloin or chuck. Most of the time, your average ground beef that you're buying in the grocery store is going to be just from trimmings that are all over the carcass, and there's a reason why there's usually a little bit of a premium on something that's either ground sirloin, ground chuck, because it only came from those portions of the animal. Not that there's really any difference between trimmings and sirloin and chuck, but there might be a little bit of fat content different, a little bit of collagen, connective tissue difference, but I'd say 80% of the burger you're buying is just from trimmings all over the carcass.
Well, I think you just answered the follow-up I was going to have as far as, okay, let's do a sirloin hamburger, right? I mean, it's the fat content that I imagine changes the flavor profile?
Yeah. I mean, you eat a 90% lean burger versus an 80% lean burger, and it's, night and day difference.
Right. There was a follow-up I wanted on the marinating as well. I'd seen this one online. It was a video. Somebody was doing like Bacana, was doing a prep to where he just loads it up with salt and then throws it in the fridge uncovered for 48 hours before he throws it on a cast iron. Do you have any concern about that because I've done the marinades where, all right, well, I'm going to, throw this in the Ziploc bag, the slab of meat with whatever, marinade I have. I haven't done it for 2 full days, but uncovered in a fridge. Is that cool with you?
With a coat of salt on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially what you're doing is essentially curing it. And you're pulling a lot of that moisture out, which will enrich the flavor. We talked, I think, a couple weeks ago about dry aging. Covering something in salt is going to cure it as well as, draw that moisture out, so you're going to get a richer flavored cut of meat. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that at all. It's going to create a completely different eating experience compared to if you marinated it or, just put a dry rub on right before you're going to cook it. But yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with it. It's an interesting way to do a sirloin cap or a picanha that you saw. But yeah, nothing wrong with it at all.
Okay, I just I wouldn't have thought throwing it on whatever tray and then leaving it in the fridge uncovered for 2 full days. Like, I don't know if I'm there. But if you say go ahead, give it a shot, it's okay. All right, my mind is settled there. You have a question for Spencer Wharton? Now's your time. 35270. Spence, earlier today, because we're doing this Traeger giveaway again tonight at Bar 9, 6 o'clock, you can get those final registrations. We're only throwing a couple more names in the bucket, so to speak. The giveaway's at 7:30. We did this last time, and you and I were talking about Traegers, how to prepare it. But a question came up during News and Views from the producer, Abby Miller, about could you throw a turkey on that thing? And I brought up the technique of spatchcocking. And that went into a whole rabbit hole that I'm not going to rehash on Afternoons Live. But talk about that process for those, because I learned that a number of my coworkers had no idea what I was talking about. So explain that process, that technique.
Yeah, so spatchcocking is just taking and I'm not a poultry guy, right? I'm a red meat guy, but I have spatchcocked a bird one time a couple years ago for Thanksgiving, and it was an awesome cooking and eating experience. So what you do is cut essentially the vertebrae of the bird out. And in doing so, you can lay it out flat. So you just have essentially half a bird connected still by the breastbone. And you just lay it out flat. And what that does is gives you even distribution of heat while you're cooking. So everything cooks even. You don't have hot spots, cold spots, etc. So you don't dry the turkey out while you're cooking. Everything is cooked even, and it's a great way to cook a whole bird, that's for sure.
Do you need to put any weight on that? I mean, to keep it down. I'm just thinking about, okay, well, we remove the vertebrae. Well, I mean, is it going to lay flat just on its own, or do you have to kind of force it, for lack of a better descriptor?
I think, again, I'm not a poultry guy, but there's one more bone that you either have to remove and or break in order to get it to lay flat. But once it's flat, it's flat.
Very good. I hope they were listening from the morning show here. 35270, that's where I'm heading back. Tyler, that's the meat dude. Had a beef butchered. We ended up with a chuck steak instead of a roast. How would you prepare?
So if this is an interesting little dilemma, because a true chuck steak called the poor man's ribeye, you cook it just like a ribeye, and it's great. What I see a lot of the times is the chuck roll, where your chuck rolls would come from, cut into a steak. So if you have a chuck steak that's from the middle of that chuck roll, you're actually going to want to slow cook it, because it's going to be relatively tough compared to, closer to that rib loin. I'm probably confusing all of you with my anatomy brain, but so it kind of depends, and this isn't the greatest answer for the texter, but it kind of depends on what that chuck steak actually looks like and what muscles are included with it. Safe bet would be to cook it relatively low heat, high humidity, just in case it's the tough portion of the chuck roll. But if you see something that even looks like a ribeye in those muscles, the 3 muscles of a ribeye, then you can cook it just like a ribeye. And yeah, a chuck steak, also called the poor man's ribeye, is a great, super flavorful steak. It just has to be cut correctly.
I'm going to follow up on this one. As far as, and it might vary from shop to shop, I imagine, but let's say, put yourself in this individual's shoes here, to where, all right, we had the list out. We wanted X pounds in this, X pounds in that. We wanted that cut, this cut. And you get back from the butcher something different. What's the process? I mean, is there any way to correct that, or is it, well, sorry, this is what you're getting?
Yeah, and that's my everyday, right? That's what I do every day for 10 hours a day.
Uh-huh.
And it does become very difficult, and it takes a lot of communication, because something that a customer might be used to at a different shop come to you, explain it in a way that makes sense to them, but not necessarily to us and my crew. And that does happen. And once it's cut, right? It's there. They kind of have to, either if they don't like the presentation, or you grind it. If they like it, or just have that discussion that next go around we'll fix and try to, pinpoint what it is they have in their head and what they want to see. But I mean, it happens all the time, and a chuck steak is that happens all the time with the chuck steak, I should say, because a lot of customers want chuck steak but don't necessarily know what it is or what it's supposed to look like, and it's an everyday battle.
Well, I assume that you rarely have to make any corrections because you know what, you're the meat dude, Spence, and I appreciate your time as always. I'm gonna let you go. We'll chat again next Thursday, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, my man. Spencer Wirt, the meat dude, New Salem, North Dakota. But you know what? That segment now brought to you by Audubon Meats. So I want to thank them again for sponsoring our conversation with the meat dude. This one comes to Tyler. Another great thing about spatchcock in a turkey is that it takes away less time in the oven. And if you know me, I ain't got no time for that. Patience and I were not one. So certainly anything that can speed up the process, I'm all in. I'll give it a shot one of these days. Get you a weather update from Two Tall Tom Schmansky. We'll wrap up the first hour of Afternoons Live right after this on KFGO. Top of the hour, I get you caught up in national news. CBS, check back in with Paul Jurgens. Then it's you, me, this microphone, your cell phone. Whatever you want to get off your chest. I'm here for you. We'll talk about any and all on the table before we head on up to Devil's Lake, and then we play Audibles. Wrap it up today. Proof Artists and Distillers. We got some fun things that we'll talk about with Joel Kath. I was talking about the politicking of immigration reform, the border crisis, all these arrests going on, and the fact that you've got a whole branch that has ability to do things that would rather just use this for campaign purposes. And you're seeing that yet again this election cycle. And somebody else texted in basically telling me that this isn't the only thing not getting done. Tyler, I'm so tired of all these so-called investigations with nothing being done. If they're not going to get serious about this, then let the Democrats go back and sit on their hands until the election is over. Well, and I'm wondering which investigations you're referencing here. Because at some point, I mean, if there were things done illegally, you ought to be looking at Merrick Garland, right? The Department of Justice has to get off their hands if anything were done illegally. Now, from where I sit, I think there's been a number of evidence provided on a variety of things. I mean, honestly, and if you're going to throw out Hunter Biden and this laptop and an investigation going on there, I really hope that you're looking at Jared Kushner, who was an official employee paid through our tax dollars as the White House advisor to the president, and then, quite frankly, the son-in-law to the president, and now the fact that after all this was said and done, working out $2 billion. I mean, I hope that there's some questioning going on as to, well, what was said and done here, especially when a journalist was murdered and what the finger's pointing back to the Prince of Saudi Arabia that authorized that. So, I mean, there are a number of questions left to be answered. I know it's frustrating as far as how slow justice can be, if there is any to be served at all. I get it. And I'm not saying that Democrats out in Congress aren't slow-walking things or aren't doing a better job of presenting it publicly, but certainly there's that other lever to this whole thing as well. And that's the Department of Justice, to where you had Merrick Garland. A lot of people had high hopes, and now, quite frankly, there's a lot of people saying, where are you at there, pal? 237-5948. That's Lenny's studio line. We're broadcasting from the Gunnarsson studio here at KFG. I want to thank them as well. You're choosing to text into the Atkins Sons of North Dakota text club, which I do appreciate, at 35270. I'm coming back to you about whatever you want to talk about after the CBS National News. I'm Tyler Axis. You got locked into KFGO Fargo. Stick around. Oh, boy, I got messages coming in. I'll get to all that here after we check in with Paul Jurgens. But here's a little on this date. 1986 was a good year. Unless you're a Geraldo Rivera, because on this date opened Al Capone's vault on live television. And was there even anything in there? Was there like a water bottle? Was it a lot of dust?
It was completely empty. And they built that up for
I know. You would think this is going to be the world's greatest spectacular. Tune in live as Geraldo Rivera cracks the vault of Al Capone. What's the best? I mean, if you had to rank the most disappointing moments in television history on live broadcasts, this has got to be in the top 4, right?
That's way up there. I mean, there's probably one on that level, but I can't think of it.
Somebody does. 35270. Tell me a moment in television history that was more disappointing than Geraldo Rivera opening Al Capone's vault and having nothing in there. I'll wait. You send those in as we get you caught up with Paul Jurgens in that KFGO News Center.
KFGO News, it is cloudy. Fargo-Moorhead, 41 degrees. I'm Paul Jurgens. Weather Service in Bismarck has issued a blizzard warning now for much of north central and western North Dakota. The blizzard warning from 4 Saturday morning until 7 Sunday evening. Heavy snow, blowing snow, freezing rain possible. Total snow accumulations of between 8 and 14 inches. Ice accumulations as much as 1/10 of an inch. And winds could gust to as much as 55 miles an hour. Again, that is a blizzard warning for much of north central and western North Dakota going into effect early Saturday morning. It'll be in effect until early Sunday evening. The Clay County Sheriff's Office and Hawley Police are investigating the death of a person who was found in a submerged car at a slough in rural Hawley yesterday afternoon. Vehicle parts were discovered and divers from Valley Water Rescue were called. It is unclear when the car went into the water or if the weather was a factor. The name of the person has not been released. Governor Burgum says he supports State Senator Ray Holmberg's decision to step down from his leadership role after reports that said Holmberg exchanged dozens of text messages with a man who is jailed and facing federal child pornography charges. Holmberg resigned as head of a powerful committee that oversees the legislature's business. Additionally, allegations surfaced online from 2 years ago by a man who accused Holmberg of sexually assaulting him 10 years earlier. Fargo criminal defense attorney Mark Fries is representing Holmberg. Fries says Holmberg has not been charged with any crime, and there is no indication that he will be. Holmberg, a retired school counselor, announced in March that he was retiring from the legislature. Last week's blizzard caused North Dakota's daily oil output to drop 25%. Pipeline Authority Director Justin Kringstad says more wintry weather that is expected this weekend could prolong the slowdown. Winter storms pose many issues for the industry. Impassable roads can prevent trucks from getting to well sites. The storm also caused at least one significant spill and fire in the oil fields. A Dallas-based company building a cryptocurrency mining center north of Jamestown celebrated its listing with NASDAQ today by ringing the bell in New York City. Applied Blockchain owns next-generation data centers across North America. CEO Wes Cummings rang the opening bell.
I can't really say how excited I am and the rest of my team is to be here today and to be officially listed on the NASDAQ market. So I'm really proud of the entire team and what we've done over the past year and what we're going to do over the next coming years. To say thank you and thanks to all of our team for being here. I couldn't be more excited.
Applied Blockchain is putting up its first large-scale hosting center in the country about 7 miles north of Jamestown. It takes a substantial amount of electricity for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency transactions. Again, a blizzard warning issued by the National Weather Service in Bismarck for Saturday morning until 7 on Sunday evening. Parts of north central and western North Dakota could see anywhere from 8 to 14 inches of additional snow. Fargo-Moorhead tonight, mostly cloudy. Wind will pick up a bit out of the east, 13 to 29, and we'll see some light rain overnight, possibly. Then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, windy, areas of showers, possible thunder showers, 55. Saturday, windy, showers likely, near 68. We may see some thunderstorm activity. The temperatures are falling in the afternoon on Saturday. And then windy Sunday, scattered rain, snow showers, and 41. Mostly cloudy, it is 41 degrees. Paul Jurgens, News Radio, KFGO.
I had thrown out there because April 21st, 1986, which had to be one of the most disappointing moments in television history, live television, that is. Geraldo Rivera opened an empty vault that belonged to Al Capone. I said, now, what's the most disappointing live television moment for you? And let me just say, Gary Anderson's name has been repeated in my text club at 35270. Tyler, Gary Anderson's missed field goal in a championship game was way worse than an empty vault. Tyler, when Gary Anderson missed the field goal in January 1999. There's more of those in there. Didn't mean to open that wound up. I know for me, if we're talking sports and the live moment that just crushed you, John Casey, the kicker, Carolina Panthers, Super Bowl 2004. We just tied her up. New England Patriots, we're playing the Carolina Panthers. We got Jake Delhomme. We got Musa Muhammad. We got Steve Smith. And it's all okay. We're there. Ricky Prohl. And our kicker, just not any level that is Gary Anderson. I mean, don't get it until that moment, which everyone remembers Gary Anderson, but I also remember him being a hell of a good field goal kicker. Same with our kicker, Casey. He kicks the ball out of bounds. Out of bounds with like 2 minutes left. And you've got Tom Brady, whom we now know what he's capable of. And he only needs to go 30 yards to get, Adam Vinatieri, who is arguably the best kicker of all time. Adam Vinatieri, yeah, he needs to get 30 yards to give Adam Vinatieri a chance to kick the game-winning field goal and win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I've gotten over that, as you can tell.
What? Okay, not to dredge up old wounds, but
it's already there. I'm already in that dark mode now.
Wasn't there an interception in a pivotal game, too, that torpedoed a Cam Newton run at some point in time? I'm not a Panthers fan, so I don't remember.
Yeah, that one I must have put in a box somewhere and compartmentalized it in my mind.
What happened his MVP season at the end?
We lost to the Super Bowl again. And it's because he was strip sacked by Von Miller, who was a freak.
That's what it was.
The guy's a freak.
Yep.
Von Miller ruined that. Don't ever host the Super Bowl party if your team's in the Super Bowl. I learned that one the hard way. Because as you're watching this collapse of that great season, which they lost once, when you're realizing that in real time and you're looking at your friends and they're kind of giving that, these chips are good. I'm having a hell of a bad time here. Can you guys all leave without directly saying that?
And
but with my eyes, you could have seen in my face, I want you all to be gone.
And I've met enough of your buddies that I'm guessing there was the occasional trash talk as things were crumbling.
They were pretty timid at that time.
They could see the redness level of your face rise.
They could hear the ripping,
the
tearing of my heart.
That Leeds Axness came out, the hands started balling up and the knuckles started getting white a little bit.
Just got real quiet.
Which is scarier than loud.
Yeah.
Quiet, scarier than loud.
I get paid to talk for a living. If I get quiet, that means something's wrong. I'd asked, most disappointing live television moment for you. Because Geraldo over there. The guy went on to have a decent career. What, did you sell on Fox News? There's probably a joke in there somewhere, but I don't have it with me. If you do, 35270. Tyler, Hulk Hogan turning heel and joining the NWO and 1996 WCW Bash at the Beach. Great callback. Because Hulk Hogan, he was a real American. He was the guy.
I kind of liked NWO Hogan.
Nobody liked the NWO. Are you kidding me? Nobody, give me WWF at that time over WCW any day. Now, granted, the Monday Night Wars that were going on, when you had D-Generation X drive a tank to WCW, because I think they were in the same town, gold. That was television gold. Can't we just go back? Nostalgic. Thanks for texting that in. I'm going to go back to some of the other things at hand here. Somebody had asked, you got to find it because there's a number of messages that came in here. Tyler, when is 32nd Avenue going to be repaired? The intersection of 25th and 32nd is a nightmare. A car is going to completely disappear in the potholes one of these days. I'll reach out to one of our friends over at the city, and it's not necessarily uplifting news, but they're saying that the project needs to be rebid down there. So ETA, I don't have one for you. But I do know 32nd Avenue. Now, this is the reason why they're going to be repairing that entire stretch, because every year, I mean, you can think of which frontage roads have the worst potholes, and you can also think of which main roads have the worst driving conditions. 32nd Avenue has been repeatedly one of the worst offenders when it comes to the upkeep of just the road itself. So City of Fargo is going to be on it. As far as when shovels start working, I don't have the answer for you, and I apologize. But I do have a contact to whom I'm supposed to reach out to, and I will do that and hopefully get you an answer in a short amount of time here. Other messages, I said, whatever you want to get off your chest, I'm here. Tyler, Jared Kushner's story isn't nearly as interesting as Hunter Biden. Cocaine and hookers grabs news. Okay. Tyler, can you admit that there is something there with the Biden family potentially over a very long period of time? Let's face it, all politicians are corrupt at some level, but what I'm seeing, this is over the top. Now, I'm curious what you're seeing. I'm genuinely asking, what are you seeing that's over the top? Because if it's the Hunter Biden laptop, I'm missing the connection of the dots when it comes to corruption in the White House or when Biden was vice president. Where was it? See, because to me, you got a Hunter Biden who's this private citizen. Now, if he's out there doing dumb things that are impacting his father, by all means, I've got no problem investigating. I really don't. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. If you're doing something, if you're abusing your office at some shape or form, go ahead, investigate, and then let the facts come out. So I'm not saying if there's a there, I hope it never comes out. I would want to know. But my question is, from what you're seeing, what is it that you're seeing that's over the top? And do you acknowledge, I'm going to not answer for you, but I'm going to assume. Because we say, let's face it, all politicians are corrupt to some level. The last administration, I keep going back to the Jared Kushner thing, because he was in the White House. He was a federal employee. We were paying him. And he was cozying up to, the Saudi prince, and now it's come out that he received, and his foundation got $2 billion. I mean, to me, that has at least the appearance that he was profiting off of his time in the White House. And so I see that, and I see why the corruption can be latched onto that. But what are you seeing? And I'm genuinely asking that question. You can also call me at 237-5948. Text Club is blowing up today. I do appreciate that. Here's what's coming up. I'm going to take a quick pause here. In a little bit, we're heading up to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Tanner Cherney, Devil's Lake Tourism. He's going to tell you about the shore fishing. They got a lot more snow up in that region than we do where I'm sitting right now. We've got like nothing. So we'll see what the latest is up there. That runoff's going to be happening this spring. That's going to be a good sign for all those coolies up there. We'll ask him. And then we got Audibles brought to you by Don's Car Wash. You can put a smile on your face and on your car. And then we're wrapping up today with Proof Artisan Distillers Joel Cath. We'll tell you about some of the great concoctions they've been cooking up down there. I'm Tyler Axis. You are listening to KFGO Fargo. Stick around. a moment to tell you all that you are making the right decision according to our Battle of the Bump songs again in your early voting. This week's contest between supergroups, the Traveling Wilburys, you think about the Highwaymen, the list goes on. It's that versus the solo projects. So you think about, the songs that maybe every single Beatle had after the Beatles broke up. Those are kind of those solo projects. You can send in what you want to hear tomorrow at 35270. And then we'll have that little contest announcement tomorrow. Don's Car Wash, I'm going to be stopping by over there. I don't know, what's the forecast tomorrow? Is it going to be decent enough for you to want to get a car wash? Because they got a special, and we're going to be telling you all about that a little bit later on today as well. 35270. That's the Eye Consultants of North Dakota Text Club. And we've stumbled upon corruption at the federal level. And I challenge the texter, and I know we don't normally let people double dip, but by all means, what do you say? From what I'm seeing, this is way over the top. What is it you are seeing? Is the question. This one comes in response to someone else. Tyler, where is this mysterious laptop? Who has it? FBI, CIA, Rudy Giuliani? Has anyone actually seen any credible reporting on its contents? Because I haven't. There's this whole, Durham report that has come out, and I know that they are trying in a coordinated effort to make this thing really stick publicly. But the thing with what's being kind of sprinkled out here, sprinkled out there from those that are coordinating, and if you missed yesterday when I'm laying out this whole function, this whole platforming that is utilized by, particularly right-wing media, this is how this thing starts. You get a little bit, then all of a sudden you start retweeting, you start sharing on other platforms, you get video in a way that it manipulates things to where it fits narrative, then all of a sudden it shows up on Tucker Carlson. If you missed that, I would encourage you, wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to that conversation from yesterday. But this whole Durham file is similar in that process, but it hasn't brought anything forward that is new from what I can tell. From what was discussed even back during the campaign to where we are now on, the whole, what did Clinton's campaign do? There's all these things that we're throwing it at a wall. Somebody's going to hold on to it, and they're going to keep pounding the drum, and this is going to be their big focus. It's either what Clinton's campaign did or what Hunter's laptop had. And my question that I keep asking, what is it in your mind that these things have done that have impacted either this administration, the previous administration, or the one before that? I mean, the list can go on and on. Just what is it? Is all I'm asking you. 237-5948. And I ask that and ask you to acknowledge then because I've already said, look, if there's something there and the Department of Justice says, look, here's the connection here, fine. I would want to know that also. But I'm going to ask you, for those that certainly have turned what I would consider a blind eye to the things that were going on in the last administration, would you be willing and would you be wanting to know what was done and whether or not it was legal or illegal then? I'm saying it's all fair game. And just because I'm a Democrat, was a Democrat, doesn't mean that, I got to protect any Democrat here. That's not how I operate. And I think I've made that abundantly clear in the little over 4 years that I've been sitting in this chair. If there was something that a Democrat did in office or abused their office, by all means, expose it. Bring it out. We'll talk about it right here. But the same goes for the Republicans. One thing that I can tell from sitting here is that same willingness to let it all be out there on the table isn't shared by people that certainly live and die and breathe everything that Donald Trump has said. Why? 35270. You can go ahead and text that in. You got any question on fishing on Devil's Lake? That's the same place where you can ask those questions because we're heading up there right after we check in with Paul Jurgens in that KFGO News Center. Tanner Cherney, Devil's Lake Tourism. We'll get the latest on all of that. Spring, not here yet. I know we're probably technically, but it's coming. And it's a great time to start booking your trips up there. He'll tell you how you can do that, where you're going to want to wet that line, other outdoor activities you can do in these warmer days ahead. Then we got Audibles. This week's contestants, you got Abby Miller, Matt English, Madison Quinn, Derek Hansen, myself, I'm Tyler Exton. So you can start texting in who you think's going to win. Be listening because it's your chance to win a free The Works car wash from Don's. On a Thursday afternoon, we're rolling on. KFGO time is 3:28. Don't go anywhere.
News and weather this hour brought to you by Accent Kitchen and Bath, your custom bathroom and kitchen destination. Get started today.
Cloudy, Fargo-Moorhead, 41. I'm Paul Juergens. The Clay County Sheriff's Office and Hawley Police are investigating the death of the person who was found in a submerged car in a slough in rural Hawley yesterday afternoon. Vehicle parts were discovered and divers from Valley Water Rescue were called. It's unclear when the car went into the water or if the weather was a factor. The name of the person has not been released. Police in Duluth are investigating the deaths of 5 people whose bodies were found in a home.
There was an unimaginable tragedy that struck our community, one that really is very, very difficult for us, that is makes us have heavy, heavy hearts.
Police Chief Mike Tuscan. Officers responded to the home after police received a report of a male experiencing a mental health crisis in nearby Hermantown. He is among the dead. It is believed that the 5 people were related. A dog was also found dead. 41, you're listening to KFGO News. You're listening to KFGO News. North Dakota's 8 larger airports posted a total of 97,561 airline passenger boardings in March, a 35% increase from March of last year. The month also brought the state's highest level of passenger traffic over a monthly time frame in the past 2 years. The pre-pandemic month of February 2020 was the only time that the state posted a higher monthly passenger count. Several airports have surpassed or are very close to reaching pre-COVID passenger demand levels. The manager of Bolt Hill Dam at Lake Ashtabula says an approaching storm may require some modifications to the discharge rates for the dam. Rich Schuneman says an adjustment to the flow rate was required after last week's blizzard. He says it's been estimated now that the recent snow in the Upper Cheyenne River and Devil's Lake Basin contains about 2 inches of liquid water.
2 inches when we are full, 2 inches just would come in, and then we have to let out whatever that flow is coming in, the inflows. Now, it always just depends on, the volume of the water that might come in, and then the timing, how fast it comes. So that really determines what would happen to Lake Ashtabula and how much releases we would put out of Bald Hill Dam.
Schuneman says there's an additional 5 feet of storage on the lake if the need develops. The Corps says a historic late winter storm last week produced as much moisture as a typical winter. And again, the Weather Service in Bismarck has issued a blizzard warning from Saturday afternoon into Sunday night for north central and western North Dakota. Additional snow accumulations of 8 to 14 inches. A cool, wet spring in Minnesota doesn't always transfer to summer. Assistant Minnesota State climatologist Pete Boulay says 2013, 2014, and 2018 had spring cold spells and warm summer months. He says he specifically singles out 2018 when April was very cold, but on Memorial Day, central and southern Minnesota saw highs in the upper 90s and low hundreds. Fargo-Moorhead mostly cloudy tonight. KFGO meteorologist Tom Szymanski is expecting about 38, and we may see some light rain after midnight. 55 tomorrow, mostly cloudy, windy once again. Areas of showers, possible thunder showers. Rain in the form of showers likely on Saturday. Windy and much warmer, possible thunderstorms. High of 68, and then temperatures falling in the afternoon. Windy Sunday, high of 41. Scattered rain or snow showers. 40 degrees, Fargo-Moorhead. Paul Juergens, News Radio, KFGO.
And at Bar 9, we're going to have a winner for the Traeger giveaway that's going on tonight. The Gear Up for Grilling coming to a close today. Been a good ride, been a lot of fun. Can't win if you don't play. Got to be over at Bar 9, and you have to be present to win. And if you have a pickup or a larger vehicle, that's encouraged because you're bringing that Traeger home with you if your name is drawn. We'll tell you more about that a little bit later on. CBS National News on the way. We're heading to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. We'll visit with Tanner Cherney right after this on KFGO. Heading up to part of our North Country, as we do every week at this time, to visit with Tanner Cherney with Devil's Lake Tourism. Get all the latest fishing reports. Tanner, imagine we're kind of in that cross position here where there might be some people out on a shoreline, but ice fishing, well, she's done. How are things going up there, buddy?
Things are going well. Yeah, unfortunately, we're kind of in that, 2 weeks ago we thought, all right, shore fishing is going to be right around the corner. It's go time. And then Mother Nature had the ultimate trump card and threw us a little curveball with some snow. So we're kind of just patiently waiting for that weather to warm up before these fish get a little bit more active and we have a little bit more opportunities in some of these predominantly popular spots for shore fishing.
Yeah. Well, and we just heard, and I know it's further west than where you are, but a blizzard warning in effect Saturday. But that doesn't mean we're out of the moisture game. And I know that there's been a lot of people asking, hey, we need moisture. It's been a drought. It's starting to come, and it sounds like you're going to get perhaps a little bit more rain up there. Earlier today as well on our KFGO News, we're talking about, Lake Ashtabula, some of the reservoirs and doing any of the, the changes, lowering and raising of outputs. Have you heard any of that discussion and the impacts of Devil's Lake? Because I know that lake's been down quite a bit over the last few years, and there was talk about taking more off. I'm just curious, has there been any conversation as of late as to now with moisture, anything change?
There has been. I've seen some recent reports come out from the Joint Water Resource Board up here, and I think since this spring here, I want to say the lake has come up probably about a little over a foot so far over the last month or so. And just with the recent precip and kind of the rapid, hopefully, warm-up we get here, looks like we could get another 1.5 foot rise out of this. So it might put us between 2.5 feet, depending on how things shape up here over the next couple of weeks, which, we're down, a good 6.5 feet probably over the all-time high. So it'll get us back to a good level where hopefully some of those coulees fill up and the fishing and gets really active again this spring, and we hopefully have a really good spring spawn with it.
Yeah, where I sit on this. I understand some of the people that have land on the shoreline up there wanting some of that back. It's not universal, but I certainly think that what tourism and Mother Nature's done up in that area, that if you can get some more water back onto that lake, hey, I'm all there for it. Like I was saying last week, and I know we have a new audience every day here, seeing some of those roads back peaking above the shoreline now that I haven't seen in a decade. It just is very noticeable how much has come off that lake. And you think about all the fishing and all the people from around the globe that come up there, you don't want to lose any more than what has been. So I'm glad that the moisture's there. Glad that we're going to get maybe 2 feet of the, 6 that we've lost over the last couple of years. So this is kind of that weird transition time. People waiting around, I'm sure they're telling stories about their ice fishing, but it's not a slow time necessarily. I mean, there's still a lot to do up on Devil's Lake. Give people a flavor of what they could do if they want to come up this weekend.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we've still got plenty of opportunities to get out and do a little shore fishing. Our bridge areas, the coulees are open and running. Probably got 50 yards or so in a lot of areas on shore that you can still wet a line and cast out there. But irregardless, there's still a lot of other things to do, like White Horse Hill if you're in the area. Go out, do a little exploring, maybe take the kids on a hike out there. Get lucky, see the herd of elk or the bison. And, we've got the casino in the area. So there's a lot of different things while you're kind of waiting for that opportunity to get out and dust off the long rod. And to go along with that, the biggest thing this time of the year is the later in the day that you get out onto the shore and fish, the better it is just to give that sun an opportunity to warm up that water to make those fish a little more active. Yeah. So definitely take advantage of some of those other things offshore during the morning and early afternoon hours.
I'm going to completely drop this on you cold because you bring up Spirit Lake, the casino out there. And did I hear correctly? And like I said, if you don't know, I'm not going to fault you for it because I'm just winging it here. Did I hear that Bush, like the grunge band Bush, is going to be at that casino out there later on in August?
That is a very good question, Tyler. I don't know the answer to that, but I wouldn't be surprised because they did put in that grandstand bleacher this last year that with the goal of bringing in a lot of bigger name performers. So I can't confirm or deny it, but I'm going to say that's a good chance.
I'll do the Google when I let you go here. And people should be Googling devilslakendeed.com because, you can do all your planning. This is the time we're talking about this transition up on that lake, but the planning never stops. And if you want to get on up there for the spring or the summer, it's not too late, but things are filling up is what I'm getting at, Tanner. So now is the time to do so, right?
now's the time to get those guides booked, get your cabins, your hotels locked in, and start planning those spring trips, those summer trips. It's definitely not too early to start thinking about July and August.
Very good. Tanner, anything else before I let you go this Thursday?
Just the biggest thing is, I think we've mentioned it before, but I know we're already 22 days into April here, but those that are coming up that are either from out of state, don't forget that you do need to update your fishing license here as of like March 31st is when your year-long one would have expired. So I know that's one of those things that you want to make sure you get done before you do get on the water or on the shoreline and wet a line.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. Good way to end this week's conversation. I tell you what, you have a good week, and we'll chat again next Thursday, all right?
Sounds great. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you do the same. Tanner Cherney, Devil's Lake Tourism. You can go to devilslakend.com. Check out all of those reservations. You can do that right there. The hotels, restaurants, all the activities right there. One convenient location. Going to get you a weather update from Too Tall Tom Schmancy. I'm going to do the Google because if Bush is up in Devil's Lake, I think I already know where I'm going to be that weekend. So I'll tell you if, in fact, that's the case. When we come back here on Afternoons Live, I'm Tyler Axis, and you are listening to KFGO Fargo. I know that I've turned this microphone on and we've had the conversation a few times about concerts and those that you had the best of intentions of going to, and then life gets in the way, or you're just a wimp like me. And when you're thinking about, it's like 107 degrees, it's at the Red River Valley Fair, and the humidity is 98%, I think I'll pass. That's how I remember my attitude being when Bush was there a couple of years ago. I was broadcasting from the grandstand area. You know where that KFGO building is, right next. You probably heard them warming up, because by the time I'm in that studio, you can hear the drums, typically over these airwaves. And I want to go to Bush, but not in this heat because I'm a wimp. I didn't go. I regret it to this day. And I did just confirm. I asked an attorney, like, completely out of nowhere. He's not a spokesman for the casino up there. He's just saying, look, you can go out there if you want. It's one of the attractions of the area. And I thought that I had heard, and I just did confirm, August 6th, Bush is going to be out at Spirit Lake Casino. So I've got a chance to redeem myself to go and actually check the band out. I'm hoping that I can get on up there. And I had no idea this outdoor entertainment. Not the first time I've been naive and not completely aware of my surroundings or updates, but I did not know until Tanner said they got this whole outdoor seating venue now. Great. I'll be heading on up there. We'll tell you more about that. We're going to be doing back on the road here. Obviously, it's been not ideal to be going to some of our area attractions. Now, tomorrow, we're going to get you ready to get in your rig, all sparkly, shining. There's going to be a smile on your car, probably a smile on your face, because we're going over to Don's. That's going to be tomorrow. But then, in the weeks, months ahead, I mean, you're thinking about the outdoor music venues. You're thinking about your time and your town that you celebrate every year, in which the crew brings out the flatbed trailer. You've got the band. They're going to be up there on Main Street on a Saturday night, tearing down the streets. You're going to have a great time. I'm going to be there I want to tell the story of your town as well and what it is that you celebrate. Anything from Potato Days in Barnesville to you name it. I know there's a Sausage Days to where I cannot remember where it is. I've got a T-shirt. Somebody help me out. 35270. It's going to be a lot of fun. Once it does, in fact, warm up. 35270 is a number of messages coming in. In fact, a lot of them actually are for Audibles. That's going to be around the corner. Brought to you by Don's Car Wash. Abby Miller, Matt English, Madison Quinn, myself. Those are the confirmed ones. We're waiting to hear back to see if Derek Hansen will be in studio. I think he's got Couch Potato Radio a little bit later on tonight. Timberwolves, I think, are on these airwaves. Shows how much I'm prepared for what our KFGO evening lineup is. I can tell you I'm going to be over at Bar 9, so, is it the Timberwolves or do we have the Wild tonight?
And between the Fan and KFGO, we'll have both.
Mm-hmm.
So keep them locked to either 790 or 740.
Do that
what are they?
the dials.
Are there 107.3 on the FM dial?
Sure.
I
don't promote that part. I know it's 740 AM.
And we're 104.7.
And you keep it locked into 104.7 FM. That's all you need to know. You keep that on your presets, and that's all you need. When we come back after Audibles, we do have Proof Artists and Distillers. Joel Kath, they are all over the place. Speaking of back on the road, I don't know how they ever find time to be at their location and 4th and 4th downtown Fargo. Their distillery now open, so you can go in there. You can have a great time. They've got such a great setup there, and everything you know that you get from there is locally made. He's going to be telling you about where you can find them if you have not tried some of their products. We're going to have an Afternoons Live event down there as well in the next month or two. We're excited to tell you some of those details. Not fully functioned out and fleshed out right now, but we're going to be inviting some of you to join us for a little Proof Artisan Distillery party going on. That's going to be next month. He'll tell you, just tease you around that, and we'll tell you how you can get registered for that because space, well, unfortunately, that's going to be limited, but it's going to be a great time. That's coming up. Anything else you want to get off your chest, by all means, you know how to get a hold of me. The Art Consultants of North Dakota Text Club is 35270. We're going to talk about Mike Tyson punching a passenger on a flight. I know this is going to upset some of you, but that guy, well, if you watched the video, probably had something coming for how stupid he was. We're going to talk about that. And a fight that was uncalled for on a baseball diamond. We got some audio to play for you on that as well. KFGO time is 4 o'clock. You got it locked in Afternoons Live. For our weekly showdown of audibles, that's brought to you by Don's Car Wash. You can put a smile in her car and on that face of yours. Abby Miller's back. She's producer of News and Views. You were listening last week. You were texting during the game, but you weren't here physically for the game.
Correct.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I had a concert to attend.
So you had a concert. Yeah, that's much more pressing, much more important. Glad
I didn't want to miss it. But.
Yeah, okay. They already get Abby. You show them. I'm rooting for you, and that's sent with the slam effect in the text club. I don't know what the slam effect means.
I hope that's not the same person that told me this morning via text that I can't reach a strawberry on a strawberry bush because of how short I am.
Huh. That's a weird insult.
I know.
That's a very unique and weird
know.
direct insult. Madison Quinn's from the KFGO News team. Hi, Madison.
Hey, guys. How did the text club heat up? I'm feeling good today.
Yeah, you've got some votes in here.
Right.
Actually, everybody that's in this room has got votes.
Good.
You weren't here last week. Welcome back.
I'm glad to be.
Matt English, 740 The Fan. He's our sports guy. He's back.
Yes,
Hi,
sir.
Matt.
Hello. Good to be here.
Were we all gone last week?
I think
Matt was here.
Okay.
Matt, Joel, Amy, Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek's not here. Rusty's not here. But I'm glad you guys are here. Thanks for participating. You can be the real winner if you select who does win at 35270. Just text in the first name. Audibles right after this KFGO News.
KFGO News, mostly cloudy, 41. Hi, Paul Jerkins. A 29-year-old man posted an online confession before killing 4 family members and himself inside a Duluth home. The man wrote about suffering from mental health illness for many years. He wrote in a Facebook post that he made the absolutely horrid choice to kill himself, his aunt and uncle, and his 2 sweet, beyond angelic cousins. Officers had been sent to a home in Hermantown. What they learned there led them to the home in Duluth where the bodies were found. They'd been shot. The family dog was also killed. The Clay County Sheriff's Office and Hawley Police are investigating the death of a person who was found in a submerged car in a slough in rural Hawley yesterday afternoon. Vehicle parts were discovered and divers from Valley Water Rescue were called. It is unclear when the car went into the water or if the weather was a factor. The name of the person has not been released. Governor Burgum says he supports State Senator Ray Holmberg's decision to step down from his leadership role after reports that said Holmberg exchanged dozens of text messages with a man who is jailed and facing federal child pornography charges. Holmberg resigned as head of a powerful committee that oversees the legislature's business. Additionally, allegations surfaced online from 2 years ago by a man who accused Holmberg of sexually assaulting him 10 years earlier. A charity event, A Night to Remember, is sold out tonight at Paisley Park in Chanhassen, Minnesota, as fans honor the life of Prince 6 years after the legendary musician's death. Mike McGuire is Paisley Park Managing Director.
Yeah, it's really hard, I think, to try to articulate what this day means. It's certainly an emotional day. And when you think about Prince's life, his legacy in its totality, it's hard to wrap your arms around that sometimes because he was able to do so much and meant so much to so many people. And I think though his loss was a loss that came entirely too soon, it's really important for us to remember that we were lucky to have had him for as long as we did.
All proceeds from the concert will be donated to a Minneapolis charity that promotes the advancement of underprivileged youth. Fargo-Moorhead, we expect a mostly cloudy night, wind picking up a bit out of the east. Chance of light rain after midnight, and 38 for the low. Tomorrow, 55, mostly cloudy, windy, areas of showers, and possible thunder showers. Warm, windy on Saturday. Looks like rain possible. Showers, thunderstorms, possibly. And 68 for the high in the afternoon on Saturday with the falling temperatures. And again, the Weather Service office in Bismarck has issued a blizzard warning from Saturday morning until Sunday night. Snow, heavy snow, blowing snow, freezing rain, all possible. Total snow accumulations between 8 and 14 inches. Wind gusts up near 55 miles an hour. That blizzard warning for much of north central and western North Dakota. Fargo-Moorhead, mostly cloudy. It's 42. Paul Juergens, News Radio, KFGO.
Every Thursday at this time, Don's Car Wash allows us to play a game we call Audibles. It's your chance to win a free The Works car wash. Tomorrow we're going to tell you about some of the other deals going on at Don's Car Wash, 13th Avenue. I'll be over there, Abby.
I'll get a car wash.
You get a car wash? Madison, need a car wash?
I need one bad.
Matt
They
needs
have
a car
some good
wash.
snacks, too. Like car wash snacks.
What are
What's
car
in it?
wash?
I don't know. Right after
What's in
you
a car
said it,
wash
I
at a
regretted
convenience
it.
store?
Like chips.
I can get chips at a C
Wait,
store.
you want a crumbly snack right after you get your car washed?
Yeah, get that thing too.
Mistake.
Yeah. Just a matter of minutes. This thing's too damn clean. They did such a good job
Let's
at
get
Don's.
Cheetos, sun
Yeah,
chips,
get
that
orange
fake cheese.
Flour, powdery stuff everywhere. Still a chance for you to get registered for who you think's going to win. Abby Miller, producer, News and Views. Madison Quinn, KFGO News. Matt English, 740 The Fan. I'm Tyler Axis, host of Afternoons Live. That's what you're listening to right now. Eric Johnson, he's my producer, and he put together today's game. Eric, take it away.
Yeah, it is that time, guys. Game 144 of Audibles. I've got 5 categories over here with 4 pieces of audio in each category. We do scaled scoring. So if you can identify the correct answer on the first piece of audio, you get 4 points, second piece 3 points, and so on. The most recent winner in the room is Tyler Axness, so he will select first.
Highly disputed win, that one.
After that,
Clear victory. I forgot about that.
No, me too.
Some people don't forget when they're on the losing side.
Madison, didn't you try to make a hashtag going for that?
Yeah, I don't know if it. I think
Did
it blew up.
I bet it caught on.
Yeah.
It caught on so well
All right.
that we all remember.
You know the rest of the rules. Answer wrong, you're out. For that category, back in on the next one. Standard 5 categories today, Tyler. Movie, character, song, actor, and TV show.
Hold on a second. Am I the oldest person playing this week?
Yeah, you're a geezer.
Clearly.
I mean,
That is
It
a
shows.
first of
Yep.
KFGO. Okay, well, now we know.
Look at KFGO.
Older and
young.
just young, hip, cool with it. Whatever the kids say, those slang terms now. Let's go with actor.
actor, audio clip number 1.
I can't. You're on your own when it comes to your mother. Darren, the only way out is in.
Actor, audio clip number 2.
All high-ranking officers of both the SS and the Gestapo, as well as luminaries of the Nazi propaganda film industry.
Actor, audio clip number 3.
Madison.
Madison.
Mike Myers.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh, that was Mike?
That's
Bro,
second.
Mike?
Give me that
I think I had it
final
from the
clue.
second one.
Or imagine being able to be magically whisked away to Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware.
I figured somebody would get that one.
What a
All right, Madison out to the early 2-0 lead. 4 categories remaining. Would you like movie, character, song, or TV?
Movie.
Movie. Audio clip number 1.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, I try so hard, and I can't seem to
Madison.
get anything right.
Madison.
Grown Ups.
That
Are
is
you
correct.
serious?
Oh, I've seen that movie like 12,000 times, so I know the exact scene that Salma Hayek is talking in right now.
Grown Ups is a terrible movie. Why would you have watched that millions of
Grown
times?
Ups is an amazing movie.
If you
Grown Ups
if you
2,
want to
another-
rank Adam Sandler movies, you are putting Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2 at the very bottom of this entire
No.
list.
Would that be in your
Okay.
top 5?
No, I'm not.
Of Adam
I'm just
Sandler?
saying I've seen the movie. I didn't say it's my favorite.
Yeah, but,
I've seen it
the
a million
implication
times.
was there.
So
that
12,000.
You've watched a movie that many times that you are like,
I'm
it's
having,
It's okay.
I'm having a terrible time watching this movie, but I must because it's on Comedy Central like 20 times a weekend.
It's a good movie. I had it on DVD.
I want you all to know that Matt is agreement with me over here. I saw him nodding his head like, "Yep, that's a terrible movie." Okay, well,
Madison storms out to a 6-point lead, but there's still 3 categories remaining. Would you like character, song, or TV show?
Character.
Character. Audio clip number 1.
They say my great-grandfather had one. They took flight when he died, never to return.
Character. Audio clip number 2.
Credence is in Paris, Newt, trying to trace his
Madison.
real family.
Don't.
Madison.
Albus Dumbledore.
That is correct.
Hey!
what is this display of geekiness
That's Jude Law,
nonsense
right?
that's going on
We
right
We
now?
have a range
Jude
of
Law is
grown-ups
Albus
to
Dumbledore.
Harry Potter.
And Fantastic Beasts, correct, Eric?
Correct. Both of them, Jude Law. I apparently
Hey, I'm
don't
gonna go
know
to the bathroom.
Madison's
You guys go to
knowledge
the bathroom
base.
quick, all right?
Yeah, you guys just get out of here. I don't want to hear another peep out of Madison the whole rest of the day.
Well, here's where we sit.
Have you- It's already
Madison's
locked up.
got 9 points,
you
and
seen
there's
the new
only
one?
8 possible.
Not yet.
So
Well,
he
we'll
has
just-
locked up the win, but you guys can make it
Nice.
into
Riveting
a
game
competitive
of-
choice. Madison, you want song or TV?
Let's do song.
Song, audio clip number 1. I usually hit you guys with an aggressive metal cover. So
Yeah.
we're-
I was
The
waiting for
elevator
Yeah, that was
music.
very much elevator music.
That's
I wish I would have been
nice.
paying attention.
Maybe the
I
week.
kind of zoned out during it.
I've got the ref counting to 10 over me right now in my mind. So
Song, audio clip number 2.
Somewhere in the night.
Song, audio clip number 3.
Everybody wants a thrill, paying anything to roll the dice.
Matt.
Just one.
Matt.
Don't stop believing.
yeah, that's where it is.
Correct.
Yep.
And if you ever wondered
I was
what
slow walking
Don't
there.
Stop
Me too.
Believing would sound like if Blink-182 wrote it.
Just a hotel girl living in a lonely world.
Wow.
Gross.
That was gross. I'll take the bossa nova and jazz over that every
Yeah,
time.
give me the elevator version.
You guys aren't into this?
Is
There's
this-
a YouTuber that does the, if this band, it's usually pop punk, wrote a famous song, and I found this. I thought it was pretty funny.
You added it to your Spotify list, didn't
Oh,
you?
well, it's on YouTube, so I gotta go check him out if he's on one of those streaming services, or if I just have to pull up YouTube every time. All right,
Blink-182
Matt.
is his band. Do you know who Blink-182 is, or is that before your time?
I'm actually 12, so
Oh,
it's before my time.
But she knows Travis Barker from every pop group currently active.
You know, when we were 12, Blink-182 came out, and they had "Work Sucks." I know, and we all shouted it like we actually knew what work was at that time. Anyway,
You're like,
well, there's a bit of
school's
knowledge.
tough.
Well, once again, Madison has locked up the win, but now Matt on the board, and one category remaining: TV show, audio clip number 1.
You can't get car sick from a radio. Car sick's an inner ear thing. Turn on the radio.
TV show, audio clip number 2.
Yes, this is Jimmy. Now, how about I come inside and visit with you about what your son said? I'd love to
Tyler.
meet a war hero face to face.
Swinging, King of the Hill.
That is correct.
That sounded. Was that first one Betty White?
It
sounded
was
like
a cameo Betty White.
Okay, I was gonna say like Hot
also,
in Cleveland. Or
we're gonna need this one for Spencer for the rest of the time.
Firm, but with a little give. Yep, these are medium rare.
What if somebody wants theirs well done?
We ask them politely yet firmly to leave.
A very much appreciated show the older I get.
Yeah.
I watched it as a child. I didn't understand the humor quite like I do now. Well, Abby,
It's
your
good being here.
your host said don't embarrass News and Views, but
Yeah,
I don't think he had a good showing last week.
No, he had a horrible showing.
Yeah, I'm giving you an opportunity to really dig in right now if you want.
Yeah, so last week I listened and Joel did horribly. He didn't even participate. Like, at least I have a sense of humor and a big personality to fill up the room, and he just was like here, but didn't do anything.
Yeah, he was sitting in the chair, but
Okay, you got to be careful. you watch where your line is. She can get away with this.
My
one.
line doesn't exist.
Matt, do you want to add in the ribbing of Joel Heidkamp? Because now's your chance.
No. He was,
Smart.
I thought he was good,
Don't.
Madison, I don't even know what to say.
May I? You know what? This one is for the Text Club. My first win here. No one
Can
voted
you play
for
the
me.
elevator music in the background?
No one voted
Because
for
this
me.
is an inspirational speech.
Do I need to switch you to Hard to Be Humble also for your victory song?
No one voted for me. I took the car wash home by myself, but now someone's going home with the Don's car wash. Amazing car wash. And you know what? Thanks for the
Cheetos.
support, Text Club. Keep with me.
There
Thank you also for your support.
Words of inspiration?
Was
I
there
would say at least.
Was there a theme this week?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Cool.
Just
All right.
random. I went heavy on the theme last week. So.
Of the
Wasn't it
dozens-
taxes?
Yeah, it was taxes. Not Passion of the Christ. Like, hey, man,
Not Easter.
If you
Easter
missed last
is
week's
the whole
Audibles, I'd encourage you, go to YouTube and watch it. We can barely keep it together. For the dozen of you that chose Madison, one of you is going to get a text back from me because you won the car wash. Congratulations. Matt, it's always fun. Thanks for coming in.
You bet.
Abby,
Anytime.
thanks for being present.
Always.
Madison,
I'll be back.
good job, man. We're going to get you caught up with some of these messages. We'll get checked in with Paul Jurgens, Proof Artists and Distillers. They got some locally made gins, whiskeys, bourbons. Joel Cass can be telling you about that in just a little bit of time here. I'm Tyler Axis. Stick around. I don't know if there's been a whole lot of fighting going on, but we do have a right to party tonight. Bar 9, you're invited. All y'all. 6 o'clock is when the last minute registration, which it's not unlimited. Not everyone's going to get into the final drawing, but you get a chance if you didn't get registered for our meat raffle, if you didn't get some of that for this Traeger grill that is in the KFGO studio. So I'm heading over there right after this, but we're going to be doing the official festivities between 6 and 7:30 is when the final drawing is. They're going to have the Timberwolves game on. It's the first home game of their playoff series against Memphis. That series is tied 1-1, but I know one thing following the Timberwolves throughout this year, it's like an entirely different team when they're playing at home. So, in fact, Derek Hansen, that's where he is. He's down in the Twin Cities. He's going to be over at Target Center tonight, and I know he's going to be checking in with Jack Sunday during the Drive Time News. In fact, I think he's got Couch Potato Radio, perhaps live from Target Center. That's coming up a little bit later on tonight as well. I got a question in. We got Joel Kath, a friend of the show, Proof Artisan Distillery, the best around, asking, Tyler, is Proof Gin as fine as the one that I drank in Mexico? I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's better. Now, so the type of gin that I drink, it's not the one that tastes like your Christmas tree. It's not piney. It is the citrusy. And one thing that we're going to tell you about, they've got classes that I would encourage you to sign up, whether it's for their whiskey or their gin class, especially the gin, because I went through it and I learned so much about the gin making process and how you can manipulate the flavors and the scents, things I never even thought were possible. They teach you, they walk you through it, and then you get to walk out with 2 bottles of your own personally made gin. But we'll ask Joel about that in just a moment here when he comes back in. They've got chances for you to test their product all across the upper Midwest. In fact, you can get it not only up here. Some of you snowbirds that go down to Arizona, Florida, you can find it pretty much dang near everywhere. That's coming up after we check in with KFGO News. A lengthy text message just came in. I will see what the contents of that are. See if I can address that before I get on up and get out of here at 5 o'clock and head over to Bar 9 in West Fargo. I'm Tyler Axis. This is After News Live. You are listening to us either on 790 AM, 94.1, or 104.7 FM. Broadcasting worldwide at KFGO.com. Stick around.
News and weather this hour brought to you by Accent Kitchen and Bath, your custom bathroom and kitchen destination. Get started today.
Mostly cloudy. It's 42. I'm Paul Juergens. The State Patrol has released the name of a woman who died in an SUV semi-crash in Breckenridge, Minnesota yesterday morning. Killed was 72-year-old Judith Martha Johnson of Fergus Falls. Johnson lost control of her SUV at the junction of State Highways 9 and 210, spun and crossed the center line in front of a semi driven by a Milner, North Dakota man. He was not hurt. The road was snow and ice covered at the time of the collision. The Clay County Sheriff's Office and Hawley Police are investigating the death of a person who was found in a submerged car in a slough in rural Hawley yesterday afternoon. Vehicle parts were discovered and divers from Valley Water Rescue were called. It's unclear when the car went into the water or if the weather was a factor. The name of the person has not been released. A 29-year-old man posted an online confession before killing 4 family members and himself inside a Duluth home. The man wrote about suffering from mental health illness for many years. He wrote in a Facebook post that he made the absolutely horrid choice to kill himself, his aunt and uncle, and his 2 sweet beyond angelic cousins. Officers have been sent to a home in Hermantown. What they learned there led them to the home in Duluth where the bodies were found. They'd been shot. A family dog was also killed. 42, mostly cloudy. This is KFGO News. Mostly cloudy, 42. This is KFGO News. North Dakota's 8 larger airports posted a total of 97,561 airline passenger boardings in March, a 35% increase from March of last year. The month also brought the state's highest level of passenger traffic over a monthly time frame in the last 2 years. The pre-pandemic month of February 2020 was the last time that the state posted a higher monthly passenger count. Reporter Bill Warner says the Minnesota Supreme Court will review a lawsuit that claims Minneapolis did not keep the police department at the strength mandated by the city charter.
A group of North Side residents alleged Mayor Jacob Fry did not maintain the minimum number of police officers that the city charter requires based on Minneapolis's population. A Hennepin County judge agreed, but the State Court of Appeals reversed that ruling, saying the city charter only requires the city council fund that minimum number of officers, and the mayor has discretion to set police staffing levels. The appeals court also noted Mayor Fry has made efforts to increase the number of officers on the police force, which has seen a significant drop since civil unrest sparked by the murder of George Floyd.
Last week's blizzard caused North Dakota's daily oil output to drop by about 25%. Pipeline Authority Director Justin Kringstead says more wintry weather expected this weekend could prolong the shutdown. Winter storms pose issues for the oil industry, as impassable roads can prevent trucks from getting to well sites. The storm also caused at least one significant spill and fire in the oil fields. The fire burned a saltwater disposal site southeast of Keene in McKenzie County last Wednesday. A representative of McKenzie Energy Partners says it appears snow inundated an electrical panel. The National Weather Service in Bismarck has posted a blizzard warning. It'll go into effect early Saturday morning and remain in effect until Sunday evening for heavy snow, blowing snow, freezing rain a possibility. Snow accumulations between 8 and 14 inches. Also ice accumulations of as much as a tenth of an inch are possible. Wind gusts as high as 55 miles an hour. That blizzard warning covers much of north central and western North Dakota. Fargo-Moorhead, we'll look for a mostly cloudy night, and the wind's picking up a bit, bringing in a chance of overnight light rain. 38 tomorrow, mostly cloudy, windy 55 with areas of showers and possible thunder showers. Windy then Saturday, looks like showers are possible, and we may see some thunderstorms too. High of 68 with steady or slowly falling temperatures in the afternoon. Turning colder again on Sunday. Windy, scattered rain, snow showers, and 41. Mostly cloudy, windy Monday, near 40. Fargo-Moorhead, mostly cloudy, it's 41 degrees. Paul Jurgens, News Radio, KFGO.
You asked about other types of gin. Well, you know what? The person that you're going to want to ask those questions of is in studio. Joel Kath, proof artist and distillers. We're going to be visiting with him in just a moment after CBS National News. And I can tell you what, they got a gin class coming up. You be listening, so we're going to tell you, if you are interested in going, how you might be able to get a free pass on us. That's coming up. Proof artist and distiller right after the CBS National News. Minutes until that 5 o'clock punch out. The drive time news with Jack Sunday going to be around the corner. He's going to steer you into Couch Potato Radio with Derek Hansen. We're heading over to Bar 9. I know one thing. That's where I was first introduced to Proof's Gin. Joel Kath over here in the KFUS. How are you doing, friend?
Greetings. Doing great.
Yeah, we were over there. I think I was doing a Friday show because I did Fridays during football. And you came over because you have your products over there. Said, hey, you enjoy gin? I go, not a chance. And then I tried it.
And
I
we started the conversion.
And I haven't looked back since. Yep. It's your gin is just top notch when it comes to what you have there. It's the reason why it wins awards.
Minions. Yes, Minions gin. Doing very well.
Good. You got a lot of things coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, one of them this Saturday, we've talked about Vanna Adventure Vans before on this show.
Yeah.
If you have not seen these vans that they've done and converted into your mobile camping destinations, fantastic.
And they've got some 4-wheel drive camper vans, custom made right here in the valley. Fantastic. They sell them all over the nation.
Yeah.
And they're doing a showroom at the distillery here this weekend, Saturday, 3 to 7. So we're going to have the tasting room open house, distillery tours, and Vanna adventure vans on display in our garage showroom, if you will.
Yeah, folks, if you haven't gone through and done the tour of Proof, this is an opportunity. You're going to want to do that, and plus you get to check out another great locally made product here. Is the showroom back open regularly, or is it for events still? I don't
Events
recall.
only.
Events only.
At this point, it's events only.
Yeah.
And so book your graduation party, upcoming graduation party.
Fair.
We're taking bookings for groom's dinners, that type of thing all through the summer. Your corporate event, if you're looking for a corporate outing, that type of thing, contact us. Come in groups from 20 to 60 to 80. Yes.
So
well, you've been there. It's
I
a
have
cool
been.
place.
It is. It's a great place. I love the place. In fact, we were there after the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yes.
They made us walk a long ways in that parade. That's all I'm saying. I was working up quite the thirst.
You started at the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah, we walked from Moorhead in front of the Armory all the way through downtown, and then I was glad we came around that corner and I could see the Proof sign.
Yes.
God, I'm so thirsty. And you quenched that thirst because you guys have good product over there. So thank you. Somebody had asked about, is Minions gin as good as this Mexican gin that they have? I said it's probably far and away better.
I'm certain that I'm going to say yes. I've never tasted that Mexican gin, but it would be. So Minions is not like a lot of gins and what a lot of people perceive as gins, being very juniper and very bitter. And that's the type of, going back 30, 40, 50, 60 years, we're bringing forward actually gins that predated that were more aromatic, more citrus forward, little less biting and a little less dry.
Yeah, it's the type of gin that I enjoy.
You can actually sip it neat. I actually drink it with soda instead of tonic.
Yeah.
And with a lemon. There you go. 64 calories.
Packs a lot of flavor inside of that, and it doesn't taste like a Christmas tree. That's how I prefer my gin, and I didn't know that was even an option until he asked me to try it. I've been through the gin class, too, the workshop that you guys throw on. I know you have one coming up here in about a week as well.
Saturday the 30th, so a week from Saturday. 2 until 5. Sign up on Eventbrite. We do a gin workshop, so Minions Gin Workshop. We instruct, inform, play with the flavors, and then everyone will document of what the flavors they like and what flavors they may dislike of the individual flavors. And then we tweak the recipe so that you get to go away with 2 of your own crafted Minions gin tailored to your liking.
It's a great time, and I learned so dang much. One thing that you're going to learn if you get a chance, and we're going to give one of you lucky listeners a chance to go on us here, is how the aromas don't always necessarily match up with the flavors.
That is very fun.
Yeah.
When you look at the individual flavors, take Orris Root, for example. The nose on that does not match what the taste is. So there's 2 different flavors that combine when that's a combination, when that flavor is in the gin.
Yeah, this is just a flavor. You see what I did there? What you're going to learn if you actually go down to the gin workshop that's going to be held at Proof a week from this Saturday. This Saturday, you can go do the open house 3 to 7. You can go check out the custom vans as well and tour the distillery. We've also got other events. You guys are all over the place, all over the time. I know that we got Snowbirds that they've had your product when they're down south, down in Arizona, for example. But we also have those dates which you put on the calendar. The Kentucky Derby's coming up. Normally we do a mint julep conversation, but as you're saying,
there's no mint sticking out of the garden
out there.
yet, but I'm looking forward to that. The mint julep is very easy, actually. When the mint does come up, our Crooked Furrow bourbon, a little bit of simple syrup, and spank the mint.
Yeah. I remember the first time that I was at a location in which they, as you say, spanked the mint.
You liven the mint up.
Well, because I thought just this bartender just back there just clapping just randomly. I'm like, oh, thanks. That was a tasty drink you made, but I'm not going to give you a standing ovation. Well, he was slapping the mint for some other drink he's making. And then he explained that brings out the flavor in it, which I had no idea.
Tenfold the flavor. Without doing that, there isn't any flavor.
I'm glad I didn't start clapping along with him, is all I can say.
Can.
I could have. It would have been an interesting conversation had I started clapping along at the same time. Joel Kath, my guest, Proof Artisan Distillery. So you got the gin class coming up.
Yes.
Should we give away a pass?
Let's, yeah.
Okay, if you want to go, and we want people that are actually going to go and take this class in and have a good time. Here's what you got to do. And one of you will get the message back at 35270. You text the word gin, and you include 2 brand names from Proof Artisan Distillers. You've heard us mention 2 of them already on air. We kind of gave you the hint and the nod there. So you text the word gin, and you provide us 2 of their, it doesn't matter if it's the bourbon, doesn't matter if it's the name of the gin, the whiskey that I think is one of the best around, one that I have on my shelf. So you do that, and we'll get back to one of you.
Even that whiskey that is named after the band from England.
Yeah, there's a band that we were able to break the news right here. All those award-winning vodkas, gins, it's all right here at Proof Artisan Distillers. What I missed that you want to get out before I let you get back after?
We're looking forward to spring. Spring is and seltzer time. Your homemade seltzer. Actually,
yes.
Minions and soda with a lemon. That actually is a seltzer just by itself. 64 calories.
See, look, you're thinking about those the calories. You don't have to worry about those, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper than the other ones that you're going to go buy in the 12 packs or 24 packs.
Yes.
You can just make your own. And you can add a little flavoring to it on your own as well.
And local.
And it's local there. That's what we leave it with. Yes, appreciate it. Anything else, Joel, before I let you get after it? I see the text club's blowing up with a variety, and people are definitely in the know of what products
Fantastic.
you got here. Yes.
We'll get numbers and get in touch with them.
Yep, we'll send you on over there Saturday. That's next Saturday for this gin class. So you still got a chance. You can text it in to 35270. We're going to get you a weather update from Too Tall Tom Shemansky. We'll see what's coming up on the Drive Time News with Jack Sunday. Joel Kath, my friend, that was good to visit with you.
Very good. Take care.
You bet. Joel Kath, Proof Artisan Distillers. You can check them out for your events. You can go downtown Fargo. That's Proof Artisan Distillers. When we come back, we're going to wrap up Afternoons Live, and then we're heading on over to Bar 9. I'm Tyler Axis. Stick around.